Hello everyone and welcome to another video. It's been a couple weeks since the last one. Things have been pretty busy here. But didn't want to go too long without getting a cast in. Didn't have anything particular in the backlog, so I just went to my folder of games worth casting someday and picked one off the top, pseudo at random. This game is from a while back. How long ago was this? A year ago. So we'll see how much I have improved my gameplay since then. I will be playing Free People against Vazye's Shadow player. So don't have the energy for a whole lot of deep analysis today. So today's going to be kind of just a romp watch. Not too much analysis if I can help myself. He begins with Black Captain and Stormcrow. Fun cards, and I get Imrahil and Grey Company. So let's see what happened in this game. We did just decide to spot me one token. One I allocated, two more rolled, and no musters. So yep, this is a good start of a fun game. Two movement for free. If I had a will, I would strongly consider crowning Aragorn. Instead, I play Imrahil for the cycle. Yep. Looks like I understood cycling back then. Not that I'm bitter about my gameplay in the tournament at all. He moves out of Barad-dûr. Yep. I probably shouldn't try and roll that pronunciation. Anyway, I move, and I'm safe. He moves to Mornon. Okay. I move again against 3 eyes. But with the character, what else am I really going to be doing? Move from Fords of Eisen? Yeah. There I'm hit. A 1 reveal. I think probably don't take it, right? He doesn't even have anyone. Yeah. I just take it. I think about going high pass for no reason, apparently. He moves to Moronon. Put the elves down the track. Okay. And he draws into Day Without Dawn. Kind of a little bit of a mocking with no musters in the first round. I say pass token. Someone was pointing this out to me recently that they had seen that you cannot play a token without a dice available. I need to check the rules on that. I haven't confirmed that either way. I draw into There's Another Way and Wisdom of Elrond. Those can be fun early. Confusion's good early, and in my heart, I still envision a world where Witch King doesn't come out so early that it basically nullifies Wisdom of Elrond. He gets Council of Elrond and Rage of the Dunlendings. I always wish Rage saw more play, so I'm happy to see him drawing that. I swap to Strider. Yeah, with no minion in play, I'll probably get good use out of his hide before I want to kill the guide. 1 eye allocated, 2 more rolled, and still only 1 muster. Oof. And that's a pretty good roll for free. Am I gonna hide with the Palantir? Yeah. Okay. Guess that makes sense. And you're gonna use your 1 muster to sit on top of the Fellowship. I was gonna say that feels ambitious. Moves a couple Nazgul around. Okay. I put the elves down. And he does it anyway for 2 rerolls to hit me in Moria. Do you even have good cards for hitting me in Moria? Only candles. You don't even have a Tile Graw card or one of the Nazgul Strike or Search. I separate Strider? Sure. Okay. I have Grey Company, I suppose. And put Gondor towards war. Not put the elves to war? Wacky. Alright. Candles hits. I then put the elves to war. So for at least for the purposes of this game, I was allowed to use tokens after the dice were all gone. I get a scouts and a mithril coat. He gets worm tongue and threats and promises. Some pretty mediocre cards on his part. For him, rather, you know. 1 eye allocated. 2 more rolled again. At least he finally gets his musters. And he didn't even spend his musters last round, so he'll only get... he'll only get 1 of the minions. And I have my will if I want a crown, but I'm a weird distance from Mordor, or from Dol Amroth. I'm also a weird distance from Mordor. Go ahead and put somebody in Lorien. He puts Sauron to war. I move the Fellowship. Hit on the reroll for an eye. Well, that's good for him. Do I lose Gandalf? Nope, I just take the corruption. Okay, and draw 3, so my greed is paid off. Lorien. I do a field. I don't scouts. I think that kind of makes sense. He only has 5 hit points to my 7. And I'm going to no quarter. I think that's not completely unreasonable. He hits nothing. And I hit 2 back. No reroll because of foul stench. Oh, geez. And he stops. Hey, a field battle that didn't end terribly for the free people. Yay! I Wisdom of Elrond? Gondor to war. Sure. Isengard goes to war, and then I hide? Oh, no minion. I was going to say I can't... No, Gandalf? Okay. And Saruman comes into play. All right. I'm not sure separating Strider there was even remotely worth my time. He gets Lidless Eye and Musterings. What do you throw here? Probably the Threats and Prowess? Maybe the Lidless Eye? Lidless Eye. Okay. I get Aomer and File, so those are fun. Yeah, fairly certain the Aragorn separate wasn't great. Yeah, 2 eyes allocated. No more rolled, finally. Apparently we had a reconnect there. And I get my will, so that's good. Move the Fellowship out. Yep, get them out of Moria before something bad happens. I get out. I offer him concession. I do that a lot to players just as a silly joke. I talk about a bad game I had. Witch King comes in. Interesting. Okay. I go ahead and put Gandalf and Fangorn. Actually, not a completely stupid idea to put him in Lorien here, but I do Fangorn. And he starts moving towards Gondor. Okay. Gondor is at war, so I can just go ahead and get an elite now. He attacks as Gileath. I am assuming I'm confusioning here, or did I spend that already? I spent it already. Scoutsing? I scouts. Nice. I scouts to Minas Tirith for another field battle, question mark. He gets Monsters Roused / Desperate Battle. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to not let Minas Tirith go down for free. I get to say field battle again. All right, strategy card versus what, Aomer on my side? Desperate Battle versus Valor. Looking for some rolls here. He gets, what, 4? Yeah. And I get 5. 4? Does the Valor not... I'm normally looking for 5s. Valor's put it to 4. Desperate Battle puts it to 3. Oh, wait. Valor is only on combat roll. Good. Glad that didn't have to be said to me by the YouTube comments. All right. If I... Yeah. Oh, okay. So those are the regulars available when I reduce. Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that was true. And I definitely told a new player that it wasn't recently in a game. Oops. Oh well, he presses. I obviously go into siege. Southrons move out. Minas Morgul moves to Osgiliath. Okay. I will go alone and last battle. He draws Balrog 1 turn late, which he throws, and fighting Uruk-hai. He also throws Day Without Dawn. Interesting. I've heard a lot of people talk about discarding that through the years, 2 years. So where are we looking? Shadow probably takes Minas Tirith eventually. Dol Amroth is going to be a hard fight. Strider's just sitting there. Love to get him crowned. Obviously, the Fellowship declares out of Moria. 1 eye allocated. 1 more rolled. And 1 billion movement. So I can move the Fellowship a bunch. Or I could crown Aragorn. Yeah, I want swifter Uruguay here. So I could crown, but I just don't. And I say, we're here for the fun. All right, well, nice. Pell from Osgiliath, okay. He gets the 1 hit, I get 1 back. Cool. I take the long way around to DA. He moves and bottles up Gondor. I make an elite and say, come at me. Southrons move down. I crown Aragorn. Southrons move down. I pass. Southrons move up. And the 1 regular moves back on top of DA. Okay. Or MT, rather. Interesting. Moves to Eric. Okay. To just, like, facilitate reinforcement. Do I spend the whole round just crowning Aragorn? Does he run away? I could charge. Yeah, no. Turns out Aragorn has forgotten to turn off his stove. Yeah, okay, sure. I spent the whole round. Yeah, and then Black Captain commands, puts DA under. Yeah, that was... I could be like 2 moves farther along with no crowned Aragorn. That feels better. But 6 dice also feels fantastic. Of course, there's there and back again. I guess that would have only worked for separating, but either way. I will go alone. Okay. And there and back again. He got some cards and killed some cards. He has Ring as Mine and Half-Orcs and Goblin Men, so those are pretty good for him. I have Guards of the Citadel, so that'll be nice. 1 eye allocated, even though he didn't have to. 2 more rolled. Lots of musters. Those are going to be a little annoying to use. I guess the elves are at war. Maybe I use some there. Start with... Am I not joking? A Minas Tirith sortie? Okay, sure. I hit once. He hits 3 times. Yeah, that's bad. I stop. Yeah, that was bad. I guess I was thinking if I get out, I can start mustering and really make a problem for him. But that was... You got to play the daylight there or something. Even the heroic death. That feels like it was ambitious. Now I play the daylight for DA. He gets nothing. I get nothing, so that's fair. Press. No card, no card. He gets nothing. I get 2. Or press. Oof. No card. He gets 2. I get 1. So pseudo even exchange. Move Rohan down the track. Okay. Isengard puts an elite in North Dunland. Interesting. I move the Fellowship. Get very hit. For a 2 reveal. Kill Gimli. Okay. Elite in North Dunland. Rohan moves down the track. I'm not sure that's... Yeah, I mean, obviously if I broke out, it would be great, but... He uses an army card to play half-orcs and goblin men in DA. Feeling a bit... That feels weird to me. Okay. I play Guards of the Citadel for a regular. Okay, sure. I don't know what was going on with the chat there. Sorry. He attacks Devilry, Denethor's Folly, and DA. It's kind of funny. Oh, man. Well, at least he gets on the reroll. One back from me. Yeah, my rolls haven't been fantastic in the south either. He draws an Olokai, so I guess that's good. He plays Onslaught. Okay. 2 hits from him. And now you should definitely up 3 more. Oh, jeez. He is so lucky I don't have Círdan's shipped right now. I put Rohan manually to war. Oh, jeez. Talk about a video I did apparently over a year ago. Should be able to see the statistics. I've now burned the one time you'll be able to see the statistics. Weirdly, Shadow is not rolling low, it looks like. I am, as free people, so yeah. A quick pause in the video. At this point, I accidentally left the stats menu up for 10 minutes of recording, making the viewing unwatchable. When I did realize that was a problem, I finished casting, and then afterwards I watched my cast while recording a new screen. So the screen you're watching for a little bit here is me reacting to my own cast rather than being directly part of my cast. So maybe some of the correlations will be a little bit rough. I apologize for that. I thought that this would be a little bit better than just scrapping the video entirely, if for no other reason than for my emotional well-being. So in about 10 minutes here, there will be a break, and then it will return to the regularly scheduled cast. Thanks. Triple recruit for Isengard, and we're into the next round. Interesting. Okay. We'll keep on the train of mostly just watching what happens. Keep this one fairly short. I draw into Dane, and the Eagles are coming. Those are fun. He gets Cruel Weather and Return of the King, or Swarm of Bats, so that's good for him. 1 eye allocated, 1 more rolled. No Círdan's, by the way. I tipped my hand there. 2 wills. Not a lot of fellowship movement happening. Get the Oliphant factory up and running. I empty sortie again. What am I doing? Oh, jeez. And I play Valor, which is illegal. Oh well. I mean, I hit 3 times. Why am I saying forward? Am I just... What? That's very obviously 3. Oh, and then I rerolled. Okay. Jeez, can you tell I'm tired? All right, I did hit 4 times. He does retreat with no hits back, so this time it worked. Makes a guy in Umbar and Minas Morgul. Okay. And I start recruiting regulars in Helm's Deep and Minas Tirith. Okay. Rage of the Dunlendings happens. That's a pretty big army. It's kind of suddenly manifested to hit Rohan. An elite into Helm's Deep. He attacks Fords. Do I have a scouts? No. No card each. He gets his 2. I get 2 back, so that's good. Another elite into Helm's Deep. I was going to say, what are you doing? I stay field again? What? Okay, sure. This time I play my Valor. He gets 1 to my 3. Lol, I hate this game sometimes. Yeah, that's a fair reaction. Screw it. He presses. Sure. No card, no card. He gets 1. I get 1. Press. No card. He gets none. I get 1. Sure. Pass. DA gets hit. Swarm of bats takes him out. 1 more for the road. He draws into Shadow Lengthens. That could be quite good for him. He's got a bunch of guys in Erech who, for not many moves, could be useful. And I go ahead and play File. It's a stupid hold in Helm's Deep. So what is that, my 3rd field battle this game? That's funny. An elite into Orthanc. See, but for all of the funniness there, I actually like... And as big as the Rohan pool is, I don't have infinite guys. I don't have that many guys. The Fellowship's moving fairly slow. There's my first Ent draw. So that's good to have that on hand. He draws Orc Patrol and Corsairs. Good that you have a Deadly Strife at least. He throws away Olagai. Interesting. I would have thought that would be a pretty good card. Maybe over the red tile. Maybe you just really like the red tile. Okay. The Fellowship is okay in Loving Life. Yes, but moving absurdly slowly. We're what, 6 steps? 5 steps? We're even halfway to Mordor. It's turned 8. 1 I allocated, 1 I rolled. Only 1 movement rolled. Go ahead and put an elite into Helm's Deep. Some of the army from Erech goes to Lamadon. That feels a little wacky. I'm assuming it's something to do with Shadows Gather or Lengthen or whichever it was. Fellowship moves. Safe. They move. Minas Tirith is getting closed in on again. I put a leader in Minas Tirith and a regular in Edoras. I'd prefer the leader in Helm's Deep there, but I understand the desire for hit points. So he's just manually moving a stack to Gileath, okay. Another regular in Minas Tirith, is that all the leaders for Gondor? It is. And a regular in Edoras, okay. Shuffle Nazgul around. Edoras is moving to relieve. What are we doing? Excuse me? Do I have a scouts? This is hyper dangerous. What am I doing? He attacks no card, thank goodness. He could have deadly strifed me here. I heroic death. Sure. Only 1 hit to my 4 back. Oh, goodness. I choose to take a leader. Sure. I ask if he's pressing, and he does not press. Okay, I pass. He attacks Druiden. Yeah, now you gotta play a card, and I don't... I don't have a scouts? What am I doing? He's Mumakiling? You're spending Shadows Lengthen when you have a Deadly Strife here? I guess you don't want to risk the Witch King. Still. There's 3 hits for him. And 2 back for me, and I have to take a bonus hit from Mumakil. Yep, no press. Why am I doing this? Draw into an Ent. Okay, sure. Now we Shadows Gather, and yeah. I draw Celeborns and Horn of Gondor. He draws Nazgul Strike and another Deadly Strife, so throws the Nazgul Strike. What do I throw? Grey Company, sure. I do have 3 regulars and a Crowned Aragorn if I ever draw Dead Men. Fellowship declares in its painfully slow march. 1 eye allocated, 1 eye rolled. A billion move. I start by moving the Fellowship. Interesting. Safe. Orc Patrol to draw 3 gets Legolas. Play Horn of Gondor. Sure. I tease about fielding in Minas Tirith, but I do not. I move the Fellowship. They are safe again. Attacks Minas Tirith with a deadly strife. Minas Tirith falls very quickly. He gets Shadows moving. Fellowship moves again. I'm now, quote-unquote, 1 step from Mordor. He draws a 2. And I chance a random and get a Hobbit. Hobbit goes and sits in Fangorn. I think I kind of prefer Helm's Deep here for him. But Fangorn's fine. He plays Hill Trolls in Minas Tirith. Okay. And I Elven Ring to make it to Mordor. It's a 0 reveal. And a 0 reveal. Oh, jeez. Poor Vase. Poor Vase. Okay. He attacks Druidin. He does kill the guy. Fine. Jeez, that was such a stupid move to move out there. So I put an elite in fold. Okay, sure. He attacks fold. Card versus card. I nameless wood in fold. That's not a thing I get to say that often. But he Swarm of Bats is it, which makes sense. He gets 2 to my 2. He presses and I retreat to Edoras. And he leaves a guy so I don't get to Path of Roses. It's good thinking there. He actually barely has enough to take Edoras if I roll well, which would be very fun for me. Well, with that sudden sprint, really wish I could draw Dead Men. That could be a really giant pain in the butt for him right here. Because then I could take Lossarnach and Path of the Roses. But Rohan and Gondor are almost completely tapped out. He has 5 points. Doesn't have, you can take all of Rohan, put you up to 8, but he's not even remotely threatening any other stronghold. Maybe Rivendell. I guess Lorien would be your next. With everything left in Rohan, maybe. He draws Worn with Sorrow and Toil and a New Powers Rising. That would be good. He's a little low on Isengard units, so it would be a mediocre new. It would be a New Power is semi-rising. I'm just realizing the statistics have been up. And I'm sure this is worth posting. Okay, well, we'll pretend it is for the purposes of this cast, and we'll see how bad it was. Fellowship makes it to... Maybe I'll just replace the video. That's what I'll do. Okay. Fellowship makes it to Mordor with this hunt pool and plenty of corruption and Boromir in the lead, so that's good. 1 eye allocated. No more rolled. 4 movement, theoretically, for the Fellowship, so they hide. He didn't even get to Cruel Weather. He had Cruel Weather. Did he not have anything to do that with last round? That's... Wow. Red tile goes in. Fellowship moves. Hits a 1. I just take it. Okay. Edoras is attacked. He uses Cruel Weather versus Shield Wall. Shield Wall at least does its thing. And I miss everything on the return. He presses. I go to Westamnet, of course. Surely you muster here, right? You muster a regular in Westamnet and a leader in Helm's Deep. That feels a little wacky to Fellowship move, but okay. To reveal, Boromir's dead. He musters an elite in Orthanc. Okay, well now I'll take a leader in both. Okay, that makes sense. He gets the mouth. Hide the Fellowship. South Dunland to North Dunland. And Moria to Holland. We're threatening a Rivendell attack. North Dunland to Holland. And most of Isengard to Fords. I pass again. Holland to Trollshaws. And something else. Eric to DA. Okay, sure, whatever. that. Did you have literally nothing else you wanted to do with your life? I guess. Not even Mount Gundabad to Mount Graham. I play Mithril Coat and Sting, so we're in it for it, and Rivendell goes under siege. So he's showing his 10 points. A ringed muster into Rivendell feels like it was pretty worth it there. But I draw Kindred, so why not? Jeez. Okay. One I allocated, one more rolled. I get some dice. So about that luck. Yeah. Let's just muster Kindred and get a scouts. He puts a red tile in. That is nice for him. I get to move the fellowship. I do hit a red. Do I burn the... I burn the red tile and get a regular eye in return. Taking Mary. Okay. Golem's now in the lead. We're in danger of good content. Yeah, we are. He attacks Rivendell. Strategy card. What, a Deadly Strife versus my Daylight? I'm so good at predicting my own things that I've already done. 3 hits for him. 3 hits for me. But that favors me pretty well here. I take a kind of wacky casualties, I guess. Do I really have a regular? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. New power is rising now that he has some guys to do. Okay. There is another way into an eye. So a 3 reveal. That's kind of a lot of corruption. And with Lure of the Ring, we're in danger. I'm in danger. He moves out of Orthanc with some guys. Attacks Helm's Deep, puts it under. I pass. He rings to get the Witch King and Nazgul where he wants. I recruit. I attack Edoras. That, I think, makes sense. I miss. I press and take it. He attacks Helm's Deep. I'm assuming I'm Horndarking. He onslaughts into Horndark. Maybe would have been worth doing a no card there, since he can assume I have Ents. Don't know. He gets nothing. I get 1. Press. No card, no card. Woof. 2 hits for him. 3 hits for me. Stop. Interesting. I guess if you have no cards, really, you don't want a Deadly Strife here? You don't want to press and then Deadly Strife? The likelihood of you getting 4 hits, the worst you take is 4 hits. Maybe you just win? That feels like it's worth it to me. But maybe you're not really on a clock here. All right, slow down just a hair. He gets all the dice. Not great combat cards. Ringwraiths abroad is nice. I get Athelas and Grimbjorn, and I'm holding Bilbo's Song. So, Hunt Pool. The reds are obviously terrible. Most everything else is great. Obviously, File's great. And I have Bilbo's Song and Athelas for my 1 move. So, in this complete stupid nonsense of a game, 1 I allocated, no more rolled. Only 2 fellowship move or cards. So really I just move rather than playing Bilbo's Song. Oh yeah, none of the reds kill me. And I draw 2. So GG. That was a very, very silly game. I don't think you'll be able to see it. See if we can. Oh, those are outdated. Okay. I did end low on combat hits. He ended low on combat hits. Not that low. But it was a very silly game. Aragorn got crowned and then did nothing. Shadow certainly got the short end of the stick luck-wise, even though the odds, quote-unquote, were correct. a very silly game, and I hope you'll enjoy. We'll see you in the next one.